You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, my goodness. We've talked about this before on the channel. Anytime you want to criticize a sports player these days, it is now standard operating procedure in a lot of cases, depending on the outlet, that if said player happens to be black, you are a racist, okay? You cannot criticize missed layups. You cannot criticize bad shooting form. You cannot criticize a a slow release on shooting form. You cannot criticize stat padding. You can't do any of this, all right? Also, they will try to shove down your throat the narrative that words such as hoodlum and thug is race-driven, all right, coded racism, as they like to call it, when the fact is, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but here in Texas, there are definitely white thugs and white hoodlums, and I almost find it offensive, secondhand offensiveness, that a race would automatically assume they're talking about them or somebody is talking about them and tie it to somebody being black. You know what I say about that? That's y'all's deal. If that's how you want to feel and you're that stupid, go for it. I mean, if that's, I don't know what else to say to you. It's a free country. You can feel that way. But it's just like the people that tried to come after the channel, right? They literally said, because I made a video on Angel Reese every day or every other day, that that's stalking. And it's like, do you know what stalking is? And you're throwing around a term right now that that's not funny because it's called feeding the YouTube algorithm. When you find a subject that is popular and gets views, you do a video on it every day or every other day. That's the way it is. Last Jedi, Brie Larson, you name it. I mean, all the various topics that have come around in the sports world. Brittany Griner, Deshaun Watson, John Gruden. I mean, once you find the NFL going woke, the NBA going woke, once you found that is something that interests viewers and they want to watch, if you want to do YouTube, you better do a video on it every day. All right? That's how this is done. All right? Because the viewers dictate what you cover. Well, now we've got a radical university. And look, guys, this is why we're getting very vocal about going to trade schools. Because, like these social justice degrees, they're not worth wiping your ass with. Seriously. But now Rice University has decided to come out and try to literally, and they just make up terms, colorblind racism. That's a manufactured, made-up term. But these people are trying to keep racism afloat and alive because it's all they got. All right, it's all they got. Well, if you criticize, you're a racist. Well, that seems kind of strange. I mean, we're talking about sports or whatever. And yeah, if somebody's dressed tacky and I call it out, I mean, it's got nothing to do with race. You're just tacky. All right? I mean, that's a thing. Colorblind racism. It's a made-up term, so you can try to label people as racist. That's all it is. So this study came out from Rice University, and they are trying to blatantly say Caitlin Clark fans are racist towards Angel Reese. That's where we're at, folks. They're trying to somehow in their mind quantify that and put it under the disguise that it's data driven. We haven't seen data manipulated at all over the years? Question mark. Oh, we have, and we see it all the time. Gotcha. That's all you have to say. Just because you put a little tag on it and call it something doesn't make it factual. It's hilarious. A newly published study from Rice University and the University of Illinois at Chicago. Radically left Brandon Johnson having mayor Chicago takes a data-driven look at one of the most polarizing sports controversies in recent memory, the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark debate from the 2023 NC2A championship. So this isn't like in the W, I assume. They're just talking about this. The championship game in there. That's nuts. During the title game between LSU and the University of Iowa, Caitlin Clark, the Iowa star guard, made a now famous "You Can't See Me" hand gesture, a taunt originally popularized by wrestler John Cena, who's white, last I checked. The point is, it doesn't matter. Without much controversy, however, when LSU's Angel Reese made the same gesture towards Clark in the closing moments of the game, the reaction was starkly different. Reese was immediately labeled as classless and unsportsmanlike by some media personalities and fans, sparking a nationwide discussion about double standards in sports, race, and gender. Now a new study quantifies, okay, what many already suspected. Public and media reactions to Reese and Clark were not just different, but radicalized. They're radicalized. Yeah, they are radicalized. You got that right. When you say fuck me and my dying wife, you're radical and you're nuts. There's something wrong with you. Yeah, it's a mental illness. Seriously. But that's what we just went through on this channel, right? Doctoral candidate Shahil Parsons. Candidate? Really? Okay. Not the real thing, a candidate. Alongside computational analyst Ian Kennedy, analyzed 700,000 tweets before, during, and after the game to unpack the racial dynamics at play. The study, published in Sage Journals, found that Clark was largely celebrated. Reese was disproportionately criticized, often with racial undertones. Here we go with buzzwords: racial undertones. Quote, "This isn't just social media chatter. This is real-time reflection of how race and gender shape public perception." Parsons says Reese and Clark did the same thing, but the responses weren't just different, they were completely opposite. That contrast tells us about how bias still operates today. Parsons' research builds on the concept of colorblind racism. Look, a framework by sociologist and Marxist, I'm sure, Eduardo Bonilla Silva, which explains how racial bias persists with coded language. What did I just tell you? Rather than overt discrimination. Quote, "Even if people don't know the term colorblind racism, they recognize when a black woman is called classless while a white woman doing the same thing is praised as competitive." Parsons says, "We set out to measure that dynamic, and the results were eye-opening. One of the study's most surprising findings, while racial bias was rampant, so was pushback." And he goes on to talk about the fact that a lot of people on Angel's side came back pushing back like they do against me. If I criticize her for missing layups and shooting form, and hell, if she is wearing something tacky and I criticize that, I'm a racist. All right? And they push back, radically push back. All right? Now you got universities trying to defend Angel Reese and make her out as the victim. It's unbelievable. Look, how you act is how you act. I don't care what race you are. Lord knows I have called out many a white athlete over time for various reasons. All right? I mean, it is what it is. I've been critical on this channel of Caitlin Clark at times, and you guys know that. All right? I lost subs over it. But I'm going to be fair. You can believe it. Unbelievable. Now we got Caitlin Clark fans, the Caitlin Clark fan base, the Indiana Fever fan base, the Iowa fan base, wherever you're located. If you're a fan in Texas, a fan in Alaska, a fan in Florida, by God, you are a racist today because they don't like how you word things. God almighty. I mean, go to trade school, folks. This tells you right here the radicalization of universities across the country. these sociology degrees, and yeah, they got to work at universities because there's no work for them anywhere else outside of maybe the media. It's crazy. It really is. So here we are once again. Angel Reese is the victim because you chose to criticize her, and they decided to take your words and and add on some manufactured term to try to prove a point. Nah, you made it up. You manufactured it to make yourself feel better and I guess justify your degree? Question mark. Because what you do is pretty much worthless in the real world. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.